Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Let's Talk with the Saw right here on Superlative Radio. Today we are going to be talking about Marvel's first episode of What If on Disney Plus. And man, we got a lot to talk about with it because it was really
interesting,
good.
to say the least.
But before we get into that, I want to talk a little bit about Scarlett Johansson and Disney.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys have been following, but of course, Scarlett Johansson sued Disney over, over the simultaneous release of Black Widow on Disney Plus and in theaters.
Theatrical, yeah.
Yeah, and she's saying that her contract stated that it was supposed to only be a theatrical release, and she was guaranteed a percentage of the profits or whatever. Disney saying that the release on Disney Plus only enhanced that. Whatever. Again, I don't know how much of that is true. Does anybody really, because since they released it on Disney Plus at the same time as theaters, no one's ever really going to know. I suppose maybe there might have been a bunch of the people that watched it on Disney Plus might have risked going to the theaters, maybe. I don't know, but with what's going on with the
it's the world today, the whole
world,
yeah.
it's hard to say. So, I mean, I don't know. Following it along, just yesterday it was announced that, of course, that Disney's cut all ties with her and they're not going to do anything else with her. I think that's a bad move because it negates the possibility of bringing Natasha back in the MCU, being played by Scarlett. So I think that's a bad idea. But whatever. It is what it is, right? What do you think?
Well, we talked about it just a little before we, got on air here. And I think we both agreed that actors and sports people and things are making way too much money than they know.
I mean, so is Disney. Everybody, they're all making way
greedy.
too much
They're all
money.
greedy.
It's all about greed.
It is. It's all a bunch of greed. It's all about money, and it's all about that. And I agree with that. And I think that's part of what's wrong with the whole system.
Yeah.
Not just movies and sports and whatever.
Agreed.
It's everywhere. But it's ubiquitous, as they say.
Yep.
And it's got to be stopped too. And I mean, 20. She got $20 million for that, right?
Yeah, she got $20 million for that.
$20 million, and
then anything extra comes from the Disney
little
Plus
bits
and
for this and bits for
whatever.
that and whatever. Yeah.
And $20 million's a lot of money.
Oh my God, that's more than most people would see in bloody 14,000 lifetimes.
Yep.
I mean, that's
Yeah, exactly.
I exaggerate, but that is more than most people will see. They should put a cap like they do with sport. They're talking about doing on some sports. They want to cap it and do it, and I think they should.
Yeah.
I think $5 million a movie would be fair. I'd say put it at $5 million. If you're a really good actor, $5 million, that's your cap. Because then you got $5 million. I mean, that's still more than most people are going to see in a lifetime.
Yeah.
So then you do a movie, you get $5 million.
Yeah.
You do another movie, you get another $5 million.
Yeah.
I mean, by the time you retire, you should be sitting on a pretty nice nest egg, unless you're shooting it up your arm or drinking it or doing whatever. But that's your stuff, not theirs.
Yeah, I agree. Anyway, that said...
that was my opinion.
Yeah, so that said, guys, if you're following it along, I mean, of course, it's all in the news, and it's all over the internet, whatever.
If you agree,
it's there.
Let us know. If you don't, let us know.
In the meantime, we're going to move on, and we're going to talk about Marvel's What If, Episode 1. So, What If is, well, to give you a little bit of history, What If used to be a comic book back in the 80s. And what they did is very similar to what they did in the show, is they would say, in all the universe out there, you've seen this, but every decision could lead to another blah, blah. It's the idea of the multiverse,
they started
right?
It yesterday too, yeah.
And it's well, what if this happened? What if that happened? And that's why they titled it What If as a comic. So when they decided to bring this back, what they're doing is they're taking every movie from the MCU and they're going to do a twist on it and do a what if this happened instead. So of course the first one is what if Agent Carter became Captain Britain, basically, or Captain Carter. instead of Steve Rogers. So basically what happens is it kind of goes along very similar to the way the movie was going. And then
And they say to you, this is where it,
and
they
then,
showed you, this is where
this is where the change happens,
Yeah.
right? Right here is where it happens. And, of course, through the events, of course, Steve gets shot and by the assassin. Carter jumps into the machine. She
Right.
she becomes the super soldier. And it tells her story as the super soldier, which is quite interesting.
she seemed to enjoy it.
And it's very different. It was a really, really good, they got just, I think the only person, like I said to you off air, that didn't reprise their voice was Chris Evans.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Everybody else was the same actor. Like Howard Stark was Dominic Cooper. Haley Atwell did Agent Carter. Like Sebastian Stan did Bucky. Like everybody did the same voices.
And when she came back at the end,
Samuel L. Jackson and
was
Jeremy
there.
Renner
That's
did
right.
Hawkeye.
That's right. It was there.
So like everybody did their same voices, which I think is really cool that they're doing that to kind of keep that continuity there. And I think that's fantastic. It's going to be disappointing to not hear Robert Downey Jr. or Chris Evans doing their voices. That's just, to me, that's going to be, and I'm sure there's a couple other actors that probably aren't, but for the vast majority of them, they're doing their voices. And I think that's really cool. So, the story is very, kind of very similar. Howard Stark ends up using the Tesseract to power a giant Iron Man suit, basically, for Steve Rogers, which they call the Hydra
Stomper.
The Hydra Stomper.
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
I thought that was pretty good, right? The Hydra Stomper. And I thought that was pretty neat. Like it was a kind of an interesting take on having Captain America and Iron Man in a different way.
Yeah.
So it was really kind of cool. And, of course, the Red Skull gets killed by the giant tentacle monster.
Did you catch the line when, I don't know if it was Bucky or whoever it was that came in and saw it and made the, what is the food when you have octopus? What is it they call it?
Calamari.
Calamari, right? He said, the god of calamari or some comment like that.
Yeah.
And I laughed. I went,
Yeah.
somebody's being funny here,
Yeah.
So that made me laugh.
I thought one of the parts that I really liked was when she beats up all those guys right in her first thing where she flips the truck.
Yeah.
And whenever she throws a motorcycle and all that stuff. And then, you see the big blonde guy get up and he's like, they send Frolin to fight or whatever. Boom. And she hits him so hard when he hits the ground, his face cracks the concrete.
Yeah.
I was like, it's like you could feel. It's like, I know when I watch anything with Chris Evans as Captain America, like when you watch him in Avengers, Age of Ultron, or you watch him in Civil War and you see him just fighting regular dudes. And I mean, when he's cracking, it's just like, you can just picture the pain of that getting cracked away.
Yeah.
Like there's one part in Civil War right at the start, just before all the stuff happens when they're in Lagos and they're trying to stop Crossbones from getting the vial of whatever, and he kicks the pickup truck at Buddy, like he kicks it, and it hits him, and then like when he's in the room and he's fighting with all of them, and he throws his shield and it bounces, ding, hits another dude, and then another guy comes up to him and he grabs him by the ankle and he just slams him into that concrete pillar and he shatters the pillar with Buddy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's like every hit you can just, or when you hear that dong from the shield as he cracks him, it's like, oh my god, like
it hurts.
And you could see that in this too when she was cracking people with the shield and punching them. It was like, oh my god, you could just feel it, and I'm like, it was well done. I was really impressed with it. I thought that it was going to be really cool, and of course it fits, as I've said before, it fits with the whole multiverse thing they're doing.
Exactly.
So of course, we know this whole multiverse start. They hinted at it in Spider-Man Far From Home when, Mysterio tried to say he was from another Earth. And, of course, he really wasn't. But that was where they kind of hinted at the hint that that's where they were going to go with Phase 4. And then, of course, we start with Scarlet Witch. And all the things that she did to alter different parts of reality here. And then at the end of her show, we can hear her kids calling out to her through the multiverse.
That's right, exactly.
And then, of course, we got Loki, which really just blew the multiverse
that blew the
wide
lid right
open.
off of it. Yeah, that's.
And now What If is showing us all these different. Is going to show us all these different aspects of what it, and then Doctor Strange and the next Spider-Man. Like, it's just full blown going to be amazing with what they do. And, I thought it was just amazing to watch. Like, it was really cool.
I enjoyed it thoroughly. And I can't wait for the next one. So
yeah.
Going to be fun.
I think it's going to be really good. But I thought it was really good that they got everybody to do the voices.
Well, yeah, it keeps it consistent.
Keeps it consistent. The animation was spectacular.
It was excellent animation.
My God, it was good. Like, I was blown away by it.
Yeah.
I mean, I really, really, really was. I
certainly no Transformers crap in that one, eh?
Yeah. No Transformers shitty animation in that
that's
one.
It.
It had really good animation, just like that He-Man one had really good animation. Just crappy story, but this is good animation and good story.
And good
great
story.
Voice
so
acting.
got everything. Yeah.
It's really good. So it started airing on Disney Plus yesterday. And it's there, so if you want to see it, check it out.
Oh, definitely check it out. Have a look.
Every Wednesday is going to be a new episode, and I think...
So that means every Thursday or Friday will be...
Yeah, and I think the first season is... I think it's 10 or 12 episodes, I think, is the first season of
that's
it.
good.
It's definitely more. I know they've got I think 30 some planned in total already.
Oh, wow.
And... because, again, they're going to do one for every movie, right? And now that Black Widow's been out, that was the 24th movie they've done. So, and of course, Shang-Chi comes in September, and then the Eternals, and then Spider-Man again. So that's 3 more just this year.
Gee, so you're going to have a whole bunch coming.
Next year, there's 3 or 4 more. Like, so, it's
it'll keep it going, too, yeah.
Yeah. So it should be good. And then, of course, even if they may even turn around and do what ifs on the Disney Plus series. So they may do a WandaVision what if. They might do a Loki what if. They might do a Falcon and the Winter Soldier what if.
Wow, that'd be interesting.
You never know, right? Like, they might use those as different what if episodes too. So I think it'll be really cool to see what they do. I thought it was well animated. Wow. It was well voiced. It was well acted. It was short. I was a little. The only disappointing thing I can say is I thought it was a little short. I would have liked the episodes to be a little longer.
What is it, half hour?
Yeah, like 23 minutes. Yeah. I would have preferred them to be probably around 40 minutes long, just so that they could have delved into the actual story of that movie a little bit better, and we could have seen a little bit more of the twists of the changes. I thought that would have been kind of cool. But I mean, otherwise, if that's really the only complaint, and even then that's very minor,
Okay, so on 10.
Oh, I'd give it a solid 8.
Oh, for you, that's good.
Yeah. It would have got a 9 if they had Chris Evans.
Oh.
But they didn't have him. If they'd had him reprise his role, I would have given it a 9. But
wow, I don't think I've ever.
I very rarely give anything a 10, as you know.
That's right.
9 is awesome.
And I think I've only ever seen you give a 9 one other time. I can't remember what it was. But
I've given
once.
a 10 too.
That was just because
I've given 10, but I give the first Avengers movie hands down. That's a 10. That's definitely a 10. That's my favorite movie, so that's definitely a 10. But I mean, most of the movies I give a solid 8 or 9 to on each of them. So,
but there you go. Okay, good stuff.
Not all of them, but most of them.
Yeah.
Like I didn't give it to Black Widow. I think I gave Black Widow a 7.
7. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I give it a solid 8. It would have got a 9 if it had Chris Evans reprising his role, and it didn't have what's his face who played Red Skull in the first Captain America movie. He played Red Skull. He also played He also played the elf guy in Lord of the Rings, and he played the agent that fought Nero in, Why can I not remember his friggin' name?
Oh, you mean he was...
He played Megatron's voice in the first Transformers movie. Frig, why can I not remember? Anyway, whatever. I can't remember his name offhand. I don't know why, because it's on the tip of my tongue.
He was in Matrix?
Yeah. He was the agent who was always fighting against Nero.
Neo,
I guess.
Yeah, the guy with the glasses. Yeah. He's Australian.
He played Agent Smith or whatever it was.
Right, yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay, I can't remember what his name
anyway,
is. Yeah.
I can't remember his name.
Okay.
It's on the tip of my tongue. But they got the guy who reprised the role of Red Skull in Infinity War and in Endgame. That guy who copied him did his voice. So it was really good. So he did a good job. But I mean, otherwise, it just is what it is. It's a really good show. I hope you guys really enjoy it. Let me know what you think below. Let me know what you think about how it compares to the original movie that they based it on, and how, when they did the twist, what did you think of that?
Yeah.
All that stuff. I'd love to hear it. Comment below. In the meantime, I guess we will catch you guys next week for another episode of What If Talk. And until then, I got nothing else to say. How about you?
I'm good.
No? Don't forget to check out the rest of our stuff on Superlative Radio, our vlogs, our radio shows, and, of course, all of our merch. You can pick up your favorite Superlative Radio merch there as well.
Yep, everything's
got
there.
More stuff coming for the merch, too. So,
and more stations that will be on.
Yeah. So
everything's
check it all
coming
out.
good.
In the meantime, have yourselves a great week. We'll see you guys next week.
And stay healthy.